The name is Law Nation. As the room fill up, be sure to hit that like. Share this content. Sharing is caring. Shout out to the HBO gang that's helping the brother out. Appreciate you, SGs, Share Gang in the house. Appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. All right, we got news around the world, and we got things that we got to lay out straight. Cowboys were committed to Dak Prescott extension. Yeah, we're committed. That's what they're saying.
When you pray for rain, you gotta deal with the mud too.
Come on. Let's get it. Yep. We got a new offensive line coach, too, for your mind. And as we peel back the evidence of the tape, it may not be that bad. It may not. Life like this, I wish raindrops would fall. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. What's good? Good afternoon to you all. Thank everybody for tuning in. Had some good meetings earlier today, and I told you guys I will be right back with some content. Now, shout out to everyone who followed this channel. I really appreciate you guys. I love y'all to the moon and back. All right, so here's the thing. The Dallas Cowboys, I'm getting mixed messages because I know how business roll. And I know how when people line and kick it, I know how that sound. Now, until I hear official news from the Cowboys.com, I'm going to look at that report of Joe Philbin being, he's with illness and stuff like that is the reason why he walked away, as a shame move. Because in any other business, in any profession,
shame. Shame.
If you're walking away from illness, there will be concessions made. There will be a statement made from the organization saying that this guy is retiring. You don't let the man contract end without making the official statement of his retirement. And let me know if I'm wrong in the chat. If you work for an organization and if you're at your wit's end, right, and your contract is about to expire, that organization will say, hey, we're going to let you retire on good terms. We're not going to have it whereas, hey, your contract was terminated and you're no longer welcome here. Hand me your badge. Make sure you leave all of the equipment on the table. So until I hear it from the official Cowboys.com that he retired and he put away his things and they did it the right way, then he was fired. There's no other way around it. And I had to clean that up because I started paying attention to people and they was like, hey, Law, hey, man. Hey, they said it was health reason. Well, it's health reason. Don't lump him in a category with the other people. Lump him in a category that he retired. Now, that's common sense. So whoever putting the reports out that he had illness is to believe possible illness. That's not a complete story. That's bullshit to me. All right? So let's get that out the way, right? Choose your side is the name of this conversation too. I want you guys to understand that in life there are two forces, good versus evil, right? Cold versus hot. You got to choose your side. You got to pick your part in this world, right? Whether now, you like ladies or you like males, right? You got to choose your side. You can't be both. Well, some people are. But you know how it goes. Choose your side. And the Cowboys, unfortunately, they got you guys right down into this mix of, hey, are you team Dak Prescott or you not? Because that's just how it goes, unfortunately. Dak Prescott looks like it appears that the front office Dave/Dim, shout out to you, John May. Appreciate you, John. Dave versus freedom. I chose freedom. Shout out to you, Trip Aces. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, free at last. And, Ernest Smallwood, appreciate you. You're wrong in your assessment. Jerry is pissed off, and he's doing it his way. Yeah, well, Jerry said he's doing it his way, but then we got to figure out, is that a surreal thing or a real thing? Let me know. But I feel you, my dog. Appreciate him. Shout out to him, man. He's a good guy over there. Shout out to him. Shout out to you, Sam Rowe. Appreciate you for being a sponsor. But choosing your side is a difficult thing, right? I go all the way back to The Last Stand on this movie that came out many a moons ago with the X-Men. You guys remember that movie? Y'all remember that picture? And Magneto, he was feeling the fact that the government, the big boys, right? The people that like to control everything. He had a statement saying they wish to cure us. But I'm going to tell y'all that we are the cure. And on top of that, let's listen to how he put it into context. This is what he said. Can y'all hear audio?
They wish to cure us, but I say to you, we are the cure.
Yes.
The cure for that infirm, imperfect condition called Homo sapiens.
Yeah.
They have their weapons. We have ours. We will strike with a vengeance and a fury that this world has never witnessed. And if any mutants stand in our way, we will use this poison against them.
Yes. Now, are y'all, hold on, which side are y'all on? You know what I mean? Are y'all Charles Xavier's side or you Team Magneto? Now, truth be told, man, low key, I like Magneto. I like Magneto's side, man. I'm Team Magneto over here. I wish that Magneto had the ability to read minds, man. Magneto had the right frame of mind, right? And Jean was the lady that had all of the powers. And Professor Charles Xavier, he wanted to control her, basically. He was just as evil as Magneto, right? I'm Team Magneto, believe it or not. It just hit me for all of these years. I'm an evil man, but really, he just backed his people, right? He was saying that, hey, let them use their powers. Let them be unique. There's nothing wrong with them. But that's why he said they wish to cure us. You know what I mean? They had all types of stuffs weaponized to cure them, to make them normal in a sense. But they were gifted, if you really think about it. Ain't this right, Matt? Appreciate you. Team Dak, get your money. Love the channel. Law, appreciate you. But some people like to go along with the system. Some people like to bend to the system. You see, Charles Xavier, Professor X, you see, he wanted to be accepted. He wanted to be a person that can blend in. They didn't want to go against the grain. They wanted to do the things that fit right in with the world on how they perceive. But Magneto looked at it like, hey, if the person got blue skin and orange hair, and they can shape shift themselves into somebody else, let them be that person. Let them be who they are, right? But to make a long story short, this organization and franchise, we like to change things. We like to fit things to fit their molds, right? I wish I had, Chris Blunt says, I wish I had Charles Xavier powers because I would make the whole crowd chant, F you, Dak. This is Chris Blunt. Oh, my gosh. So let me ask you this, though, Christopher Blunt. Dak Prescott, they're thinking about extending him. and expanding him for maybe most extensions are 3 to 4 years. So, yeah, Dre Mack says Magneto wanted all of the smoke, right? So are you willing to say, you know what, Chris, when you look back at it, are you willing to say, hey, I know that you were a fan of this team before Dak Prescott picked out his number, picked out, I guess his house here in Dallas, or he's in Prosper. So how do you make Dak Prescott change your allegiance of this team? Are you still a Cowboy fan, or you despise this team because of the quarterback? That are things that we will have to understand. JT Wolf says, Law, you the man, blessings, DC for life. Appreciate you. And Matt says with another super chat, you're welcome. You're a good guy. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your support. So when there's a little recourse, turbulence, and things are not what it is, are you going against the system or are you going with the system? Let's figure this out. All right, but before we get into more details, last night when we did the final word, shout out to my guy, Boss Cowboy Sports, Big Game James, the OC, all of those boys. We went over a few topics, and I wasn't aware that Albert Breer talked to Dan Patrick about this whole fiasco with the offensive line, well, not offensive line, offensive coordinator job that Kellen Moore had versus Mike McCarthy. We're going to listen to this audio, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on it.
Kellen Moore fired by the Cowboys?
I heard things weren't great between him and Mike McCarthy at the end. And I don't know if it was finally the fact that they were both sort of play callers by trade that got them, or it was the way that Dak played. What I do know is like that arrangement that I think had.
Shout out to you, Paul. He says with the $5 support, he says, I'm team Dak, DC for life. Feel you, man. Appreciate you. Thank y'all for allowing me to get to 100 messages today. And shout out to all of the people that's on Facebook. Although my updates are not coming through, I thank y'all for your stars and your support. Always smash that star. Shout out to the star gangs over here. Let's listen to Albert Breer.
It worked okay, but had its ups and downs over 3 years. Had sort of run its course. And obviously there were some great opportunities to be an offensive coordinator elsewhere for Kellen Moore. And I think this sort of allowed them to come to a everybody wins type of scenario where, Mike McCarthy can move on with his own staff and as the play caller, and Kellen Moore can go find a place that honestly, like in a year, could vault him into being a head coach. And this is coming on the heels of Kellen Moore doing really, really well interviewing with the Carolina Panthers, where he does have some momentum. So I just think it was sort of a combination of one of those things. I think that they came to the decision a little while ago on this. And really, since it's about Kellen Moore finding his landing spot, so they could make it look at least a little bit more amenable than it was.
All right, so that's Albert Breer. He said that there was some, roughings of the feather between the two. When you are great and good at what you do, things can't contain you, right? And I'm going to use this as an analogy. You can take a Clorox bottle, right, of bleach, pour it into an empty water bottle, right? And if you pour it into that empty water bottle and shake it for a few times, eventually the Clorox will begin to submerge itself out of it. Why? The plastic that is in can't contain it. It's too great for that particular plastic, right? It would not be able to obtain the substance of the Clorox. Meaning that when you are good or when you are great, your excellence, your ability, your skill, your craft will show up. I think that the Miko Ryans started off at the same time or a little bit after Kellen Moore. Do DeMeco Ryans got a head coach job? Yes or no? Why? His greatness exudes, right? His ability to lead exude. Even his interview capabilities exuded itself, right? They were able to have tangible information to say, all right, cool. This is something that we can see, that this dude got something in him that we will be willing to take and say that he would be a head coach. Law, do you have any more resources and information on that? Yes. Mike McDaniel, who was for the same team, the 49ers, went and interviewed for the same job that Kellen Moore interviewed for, right? In Miami land. And did he, ladies and gentlemen, get that job over Kellen Moore? Yes, because he exuded greatness. He had the ability to elevate himself. And whatever the interview course and guidelines was, they said that, hey, we would rather have Mike McDaniels versus a Kellen Moore. Now, Kellen Moore, I'm not sugarcoating none of this stuff. I'm giving you guys the real. And let those who have ears hear this. He didn't advance himself. He did a lateral job, right? He did a lateral groove. It's to the point that, hey, I'm with the belief that even Jerry Wayne or John Stephen Jones or somebody within the confines of the organization could have picked up the phone and said, hey, do my grandson a real solid. He's a very intelligent guy. Let him not fall to the wayside. Let him be your offensive coordinator. Do your boy a favor for a favor. And then they probably looked at this check. All right, we'll make that happen for you. We'll make that happen for you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Law. Enjoying the show. Appreciate you. Thank you for enjoying.
He's Albert Breer, the Monday morning quarterback. The Aaron Rodgers report that I'll put in quotations here, it almost now feels like it's fact that.
All right, so they move on and talk about Aaron Rodgers. So those were some one takes right there. Baker says, I appreciate your content, Law. Keep doing you and support Dak with the blue heart and the strong arm. All right, Kelvin Hicks, appreciate you for your support. He says, Kellen is for a pass-first offense. Dak still is a top 5 QB, but Dak is not for to throw heavy on the offense. He's not for a throwing heavy offense. I truly believe that. I look at Dak Prescott, and I don't care who we have as the offensive coordinator. I want them to come up with a scheme to have him 24 to 27. And the reason why I say that is that this is what he is. 24 to 27. There's no jade. There's no shade at this dude. That's just how it goes. You want him in between 24 and 27 attempts. Can you get him north of that? Yes. But the law of diminishing rates of return will render itself. So that's just how it goes. So for those who are campaigning and saying, okay, they would like to get rid of Dak Prescott, first and foremost, he got a no-trade clause on his contract. And the Cowboys are considering extending him, meaning that he is office furniture. Hey, for those who old school, y'all know how it goes. Office furniture, you don't move that around. Old school office furniture, once that thing is down there, you might as well say, hey man, we ain't moving this once anymore. No, it's gonna be on that wall right there. It's gonna hold those books, and that's just what it is. Unfortunately, fortunately, and when things start to come around, we start seeing the creaks of it being leaked around about the Cowboys information that we were right about, right? And I'm not beating on your chest type of guy saying that, hey, I'm right? but we can clearly see that the Dallas Cowboys and their front office, they did something very, very, very sus to this team. Let's listen to this right here. This is Jerry Wayne Jones.
You could say that we probably had too much reliance on what Tolbert could do, because we were high on him coming out and thought he could immediately be a factor. We had thought that possibly we could have better results relative to Gallup as far as his rehab and where he is. So I could say that. The other parts of it, the elephant in the room that you're talking about, was when I look at the salary that was involved, over $20 million a year, and I look at what we got with that salary to help this team, that we wouldn't have been able to have on this team had we kept it.
All right, so Jerry Jones said there's no regrets of letting Amari Cooper go for him. Now, as fans that's beating on our table over here saying, hey, look, I kid you not, I would even have no regrets if you replenish what you took away. I would have those regrets. I wouldn't have no regrets. But I would for dog sure have regrets when you replace Amari Cooper. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. James Washington, right? And you was also replacing him with a third round draft pick out of Jalen Tolbert. Those are fireable offenses if you are any other general manager for any other team. It is. It is. And when you talk about those things and you look at everything, it's hard to put the toothpaste back into the tube. And our problem is there's nothing wrong, hear me out, there's nothing wrong with getting rid of Amari Cooper, but you for dog sure better make sure you replenish. That is what I'm saying. You don't downgrade and then have the expectations to have an upgraded year. I think the Cowboys' thinking was that Kellen I think that the Cowboys' thinking was that Kellen had taken Dak as far as he could. And I think the same. Now a voice can take him to the next level. All right, so from what you said is, Coach Marv, you said that there was a level that they believe that Dak Prescott to Kellen Moore was going to rise and take him to. And they made it to that level. And now it's time to move on. Well, here's my truths with it, though, Coach Marv. We had to know that even within the confines of Kellen Moore, that he was still learning himself. It's not like Kellen Moore was this dude that was already here from a level aspect. And Dak was here, right? Because Kellen Moore himself, when you're peer to peer, you are equal. Shout out to you, Matt. Thank you. It was equal. So there was no level. They kept rising at the same time, learning at the same time, remembering things at the same time. Facts. CeeDee Lamb missed Cooper this year, right? And CeeDee Lamb, just like CeeDee Lamb, naturally, let me say this too, organically, CeeDee Lamb was going to be better his third year juxtaposed to his second year, juxtaposed to his first year. That's how football go when you draft a guy in the first round. He's supposed to get to a certain level. And I think he's still climbing for CeeDee Lamb. That's just how it goes. The thing is, Kellen Moore's ceiling or level never been achieved himself, right? Kellen Moore could never tell us about playoff experiences, what to do in the game plan, right? How to prepare for a playoff game, how to win in a playoff game, how to make it all the way to the grand stage of a Super Bowl. So both of those guys were learning on the job at the same time. Miss Scouting Pro says the Amari Cooper trade gave the Cowboys Matt Waletzko and Deron Bland. Grade that trade. I think that the trade value was only for Matt Waletzko, right? But if you want to add both of those two in and contextualize it there, Matt Waletzko, I can't grade these both players because according to Bill Parcells, and I greatly appreciate you, Miss Scouting Pro, it takes 3 years to grade a draft pick according to Bill Parcells. But I can tell you the ceiling for Deron Bland, woo, it's a tall one because his floor is so high right now, right? 5 INTs his rookie year. Now, there were some hiccups in Deron games, right? This past playoff game, he got used a little bit. The Vikings game, he was out of place in some sorts of situations there, so he wasn't flawless. But he is a scrappy young DB that we gonna all be looking and saying, hey, let's see how that sophomore deal go. We don't want to see no sophomore slumps, right? But he's still learning. Talked to his father the other day, so shout out to Deron Bland and his people, man. Good people. And the Matt Waletzko. I mean, on a piece of paper, you can look at his size, his measurables, and say, yeah, that's going to be a dog. But far as what he's going to do next season is still a wait and see. I'm not finna can it. But I can tell you, Miss Scouting Pro, I would say for right now, it's an incomplete grade. It's the area of the unknown. But they saved $20 million. So for the money that we got, who all did we pay? Who all did we pay from the Amari Cooper's money? Right? Dorrance Armstrong, LVE, Dalton Schultz, right? Like, who stood out? Maybe you can say, okay, LVE, but man, that's table scraps. We paid that man $2 million. Yeah, I can start a GoFundMe account and I probably can get there. I'm just playing with you. Yeah, that would be nice. Loudon generated $2 million. But it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. The other point was, let me see if I can find this video. Appreciate y'all so much for jumping in and being who y'all are. I really appreciate that. I really do. I got to find this other video. Y'all bear with me.
At the end of the day.
And we go right here. Come on, where you at? Boom. Steven Jones.
The guy who's ultimately in charge, I think it's a huge plus. And I think Mike really felt like it was in our best interest to keep Kellen when he first got here, because Kellen's outstanding. I think he's done an incredible job for us, and I think he's been great for Dak. And I thought he didn't want to slow that growth because Dak was, and he still is. I mean, we think Dak's on a great path. But the more he's, been around Kellen, and as much as he respects him, there's still a part of it that doesn't totally jibe, if you will, with what he wants out of the offense. And
all right, so let me stop this one by doing that. Bam. So oil and water do not mix, right? Let me repeat. Oil and water do not mix. One-handed bandit, appreciate you. You think McCarthy will use Turpin and Simi in this offense? I think we should, especially Simi Fehoko, because he's tall and fast and can catch 50-50 balls. You're welcome. We appreciate you. This is from Matt. Appreciate you. And shout out to the people on Facebook, man. I thank y'all. I can't read your replies for some reason if you donated or what have you, but I appreciate you. Jive. Yeah, it was Jive Turkey, right? All right, so here's the thing. Mike McCarthy, in my opinion, made some type of concessions, right? He made some type of bridge for himself, which was a wise move. Or he was said, okay, if you want to get this job, have you considered Kellen Moore, right, to help you along the way? I think that is how all of this goes. Because based upon what I'm hearing from Mike, he said that he can't stand X, Y, and Z, and they did X, Y, and Z. Shout out to you, Brandon. Appreciate you. 9 dimes in the house. I can't stand option routes, and then all we seen was option routes, right? So sometimes people can be already fixated on what they can do or what they will do, and then considerations follow them. And there have been 2 guys that came from the previous administration over, and that was Kellen Moore and Doug Nussmeier. And every spot in every position that Doug been in, it's been a very fickle one. It's been a one that didn't live up to par, but he kept getting extra lives, right? Like a Mario game. He had another one up. He went from the tight end coach after he done ran that one into the ground to being the offensive coordinator deal, helping the liaison, and then a quarterback coach. You know, a whole bunch of stuff that gave him extra lives. And Kellen Moore the same way. J. Rod 2422 says, we ain't never winning the Super Bowl, and that shit is depressing. Jerry Jones is too much involved and doesn't let the coaches coach or make decisions. I mean that my friend, I'm not going to put never ever winning the Super Bowl. We got to see what this offense look now. We're going to see how this West Coast concept is going to look, and I got a few things that we're going to bring about and pull around to you guys. But I'm telling you guys, the people that will be miserable are the people that despise and hate Dak Prescott, because he's going to be around here like office furniture. Sometimes when your lease is up and you running a business or what have you, that office furniture is so big and healthy, you can't even move it around. It weighs so much that you say, you know what? I'm going to take that fine, forget that deposit. I'm going to leave that desk there. It's too big for us to move. And that's why we say, man, he's like office furniture. He ain't going nowhere. And unfortunately, for those who look at this and say this and that, then you're going to have to feel the wrath of rooting for this team while 4 is under center. That's just the craziest thing of it all, because you can't have it both ways, right? And that's just how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so at this time, we're going to open up the line for your mind.
Call my phone, hit my line. Only ones who down for line.
Shout out to you, Matt, for the sponsor. Shout out to IKEA and Wayfair gang, baby. Shout out to Task Rabbit, right? Get a Task Rabbit to set it up for you, right?
Whether we East Coast and Norway in the Haven Hills.
There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
Stelios! No more and Nussmeier were spawning in the Cowboys. Yes, indeed, man. Yeah. Well, we'll find out now, man. Appreciate y'all, man. So much for tuning in for this episode. I know it's a different time frame. Let me know if y'all like this time frame, by the way. I will be doing another show at 7:30. So, y'all know how this goes. The nation never sleeps. There's always something to talk about. And they did reassure us that Odell Beckham is back on the spotlight for them. So, and I've seen a clip of Odell Beckham. His cuts looking pretty good. Now, I do know that that's without pads and things like that, but we'll find out. I got from the 512. You're live.
Hey, Law Nation, this is Gilberto. I've been a follower of you for the last couple of years. I think I might have called your phone a couple of years ago. Hit reference to, like, the release of Clinton Dix.
Clinton Dix. Yeah. It was wrong. It was 2020.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to get to my point across. I'm with the news of Dak Prescott, and the Jerry Jones or Stephen Jones is saying they want to commit to him long term. I was going to say we're starting to see, like I said, the fan base is taking a stance or drawing the line to stand, whether you go with, being still following the Cowboys under Dak or, throwing your hands up in the air and not being a Cowboy fan. Some of them are already starting to look for a different team. All I'm going to say is this. We went 12-5 the last 2 years, out in the first round last year, out in the second round this year. So we're making progress. And I think Mike McCarthy is going to allow maybe some parts of Kellen Moore's offense to go along with the West Coast offense that he's familiar with calling with the Green Bay Packers. So I think it's going to elevate the offense. I think it really is. We got to give Dak Prescott another chance. I know a lot of people are fed up with Dak Prescott, but I'm going to say this. I think with the experience of McCarthy, and I think when we hired McCarthy, I thought we were going to get this guy calling plays to begin with. But I know, like you said earlier, when he took the job, I'm sure Jerry Jones said, hey, we want to keep Kellen Moore because he's got these bright ideas and he's a young, up-and-coming coordinator. But, I think it ran its course, and I think we're going to see the McCarthy we thought we were getting, and I think he's going to put Dak Prescott in a position to succeed. And, like I said, I appreciate everything that you bring to the content, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say is I support Dak Prescott, and I think we all should as well. I think, we're unhappy in the moment, but, I think get another offseason, learning a new offense. I think this offense is going to be harder to defend because a lot of people don't know what's coming. That's been the MO for Kellen Moore about being a predictable offense. Right. But I think with this new wrinkle, I think it's going to be something that they have to prepare for, something else. So anyway, that's my thoughts, and I'll leave it forward to you. And I appreciate everything you do, Law Nation. And I'll just say it before you let me go. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys, Gilberto, man? Appreciate him. Good call. We can't get these 3 years back. We can't. We just got to deal with the year that we got now. Mike McCarthy. I think his contract ends at the end of this year. So we're going to have to dance with this one for one more year and figure things out from there. Cowboys, this fitness challenge 1,000. The Cowboys are not from a Super Bowl. No, I can't read today. The Cowboys are not far from a Super Bowl. We are halfway there with the defense. The Ravens won with Trent Dilfer. We'll win with Dak and renew the run game. O-line, quarterback, running back coaches change. Offense will be simplified. Go Cowboys. That's a lot to digest, fitness challenge. I think that we are in a window. That there was nothing unique about the Ravens offense, by the way. And it was very simple. Priest home, Jamal Lewis, they ran the ball, right? And they caught fire to the philosophy of that. Coaches from that team got, other jobs. Marvin Lewis got a job at Cincinnati after they won that Super Bowl, right? Other coaches, they lost some coaches, but the principles stayed the same. Strong defense, rush, rally, hit the quarterback, but primarily their offense wasn't really that dynamic. They ran the ball. Trent Difford kept everything in front of him. He still threw some interceptions. He was still challenged, right? And he wasn't the spring chicken at the time, I believe. So, and the same could be said by Brad Johnson, right? You know, how he was able to win the Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sound defense. Now, they had Mike Allstott and, of course, Keyshawn Johnson. But primarily, it was all defense there. And Brad Johnson caught fire. Shoot, the Cowboys like, let's bring him on. Y'all remember Brad Johnson for the Cowboys? You know, so it's a situation whereas when you look at Dak Prescott, all right, how can we just simplify the offense, be stout with the defense, which I believe that they can be, and figure things out from that perspective? So far in these last 4 years, the offense finished above the defense in categories. That's the reality of it, too. Like, we bang on the table like, hey, the defense, man, win these games. The defense been finishing out in the middle pack of the league collectively, overall. Whereas we'd be good on one end and we'd be sus on the other. So that is some valid points there. Let's strengthen this defense. Let this defense finish number one, number two, respectfully, right? We haven't done that in many years, right? So let's continue to improve this defense. Let's not have splashes on the defense, and let this offense do West Coast things, you know? So let's go. All right, so I got Westmoreland, and then I got Coach Marv. But 214, you live.
Yeah, check it out, live. What's up with it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, fam. Talk to me, man.
You say West Coast offense. So what that mean? Give me some.
Well. Let me just simplify. All right, so we were a vertical spread offense, meaning that we have a lot of vertical routes, and that's just the concept of the offense that we had before. So now this offense is going to be pretty much east and west. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be drags, deep drags, overs. It's kind of like my guy faster than your guy. We're not going to send him vertically, but we're going to send him on a shallow drag or a bubble, you know, and then we're going to have some concepts whereas we could free up over the top with a guy maybe going a deep post. But go ahead, talk to me, man.
Okay, well, if we got to get some ballers on offense, man. Everything in the draft, it should be straight receivers, man. I feel like everything else we got, bro. Everything else we really got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We can get us some more interior guys, like some D tackles, some nasty boys. But as far as we just need some outside receivers that can just go, that can create separation and, you know, just got that dog about themselves. You get what I'm saying? If we're going to go towards the West Coast offense. Because it sounds like we're going to be more misdirection, you know.
Misdirection, three-step drops. Ha ha.
Three-step drops. Yeah.
Hunter.
Like that, so.
Quarterback got the ball, bro. Ha ha ha. Out. You know what I'm saying? And it's simple. It's simple reads. It's simple reads. I don't have to read the full left scan to the right. It's gonna be ha ha ha. Yeah, and the ball out, and the wide receiver, he ain't gonna stop, pivot, and do all this. He gonna catch the ball, keep moving.
Right. Because most times West Coast offense is gonna give you like two options. Like you have two options to do. It ain't no you gotta read from left to right, and you know what I'm saying, downfield, you know, to the back is always just. Now
to be fair, that there will be everybody do mixes. Now it will be some still variations of what Kellen Moore did would still be implemented, right? They ain't gonna throw away the whole play. They ain't gonna throw away the whole playbook, dog. You gonna keep some of it. Like, I'm gonna keep that one right there. You don't keep that play right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but the principles.
But I say, man, just go get us some wide receivers, man, and everything else will be okay. You know what I'm saying? Just give somebody. Let's go get another quarterback for the show too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with the belief. You draft a quarterback every year. You know, Ty Detmer and Brett Favre, Kurt Warner, all was on the same team at one point, even at Green Bay. Quarterback factory, man. So that's just how it go.
No, you're right. Yeah, you gotta have your quarterback. We don't want to be in the position that San Francisco was in.
I mean, San Francisco literally probably could have won that game if they were not playing the political route, and they would have had Cam Newton as a backup.
Nah, facts. Yeah. And when you say political route, for all the Eagles out there, that was not a catch. We know that, okay?
Right.
Y'all got it.
Yeah.
But y'all did y'all thing. Y'all be safe in the Super Bowl. How about them Cowboys? And I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Law, my baby girl over here trying to go to sleep.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right now.
Let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about. A father and a daughter's bond is inseparable, right? My little one, when she ready for daddy, she come right at the door. She listened to a third of the show. She be sitting there and won't move. He listen to every word. All right, I got Coach Marv. He's live from the 803. You're live, Coach.
What's going on, Law?
Not much, Coach.
And on my super chat, I didn't think it was right. I didn't think it was right with their philosophy of allowing this young guy that didn't have years on the wall. But I think that's where they have come to the point of thinking that Kellen has taken, and Steven mentioned that in basically what he was saying is that they done went to a point, and now it's time for a new voice to take that to the next level, which I've always had the question, could Kellen take that to the next level? Because there is another level of quarterbacking, or quarterback's progression of growth. And I didn't believe that he had the experience and the capabilities to take him there. I think when you ask the question, and I mean a lot of people might disagree with me on this, but with this offense, which I have always had doubts about this vertical style of offense, where it didn't stretch the field from sideline to sideline, where you did use your running back to the passing game, and you use a lot of vertical routes, which after a while became very predictable, and which is the easiest to guard. With my coaching, I can tell you this: crossing routes, in routes, routes on the move are the hardest routes to catch. Stick routes, vertical routes, if you start sitting on those, they're the easiest ones to guard, because then you really have to have guys with blazing speed or just not sticking on these routes. So I think when you utilize a guy like CeeDee Lamb, think about it. Think about this. When CeeDee Lamb caught the ball on the move on crossing route, it was his biggest play.
Yep.
So when you did, and when you used Dalton Schultz on the one time in Tampa Bay going down the seam, there was big plays. But when you had them stopping and their back turned towards the goalpost, we would. If you look at the rankings, I think we rank real low at yak yards for a football team, and I think the West Coast offense is designed for you to get yak yards.
It is.
So that's where we did, after we caught the ball, we were down. That was it. Because guys had to come from a complete stop and then try to make something happen. So I take it for this, man, and I say this, and I've learned this in football. If you put the right players, in the right things that specialize their ability, you may see a guy that may look like he's mediocre or not good in one system and look like he's very good in another. But you have to understand how to utilize players. And this is why I said if we would have had Cooper this year, I saw the same type of stagnation with Cooper, because this coordinator did not know how to utilize all his talent at his best. And that's been evident with a lot of good players. He didn't utilize Cooper to his best. I don't think he utilized Lamb to his best.
Right.
I don't think he used Tony Pollard to his best. And so now when you have someone to say, we'll look at it differently, and we may try to utilize these guys to their best, this is where I hope that this offense goes, and they utilize whatever pieces we have into their best, because I'm like the other caller said, or we said, we're not far. I don't want people to think that we are way away from a championship, because being 12-5 2 years in a row, and having some mistakes and not making some plays doesn't make us a bad football team. But we have to get over the hump, and we still are the second, third youngest team in the NFL.
No doubt, Coach, and those are some brilliant points, man. And I want y'all to take home with what Coach is saying. We're not that far away. Now, I get it. You know, the pessimism gonna always arrive around this time because we out of the tournament, and you know, and then the expectations. Yeah,
expectations. But you know, Cowboys always have sometimes unrealistic expectations on our players as well as some of our season. But I don't think we're farther away, and I think that they made a good move to say we might need that added boost so we don't be so vanilla. And I think the Cowboys decided the same thing they decided about their defense 2 years ago, that it needs a change because we had got predictable.
No doubt, Coach. I appreciate you so much. We needed this change. Thank you. That's a good call from Coach Marv, y'all. Put y'all hands together for Coach Marv. Got a super chat from Eastside Harold. Can you at least, Eastside, can you do this for your boy, man? Can you at least put the picture up of the D'Amico Ryans? You know what I mean? Either you can find a picture of him when he played for y'all, or you can put just his picture up there, man, because Deshaun Watson, he no longer play for y'all, man. Let me check and see. Do y'all still see that picture? Hey, come on, take Deshaun Watson off of there. You know what I mean? Unless you are Deshaun Watson, man. But he said D'Amico Ryan brings that dominant defense to H-Town. That's a good pickup from you guys. Now, I don't know how much. Ooh, I just hit me. He got some toys. D'Amico Ryan got some toys. Stingley, he got my guy Jalen Petrie. He got some guys, man, and also he got the LSU. Put his name down, not LSU, but Alabama linebacker Christian Harris, I believe, yo. So y'all got some guys over there that I pretty like over there on your defense. So I can't wait to see you guys for the 2023 season on how y'all do, you know. But, you know, you coming out of a Pierce too. Yeah, Damon Pierce. Yeah. So you guys got some good stuff over there. Y'all want Schultz? Y'all can pick up Dalton Schultz. We will see what we can do for that. You know what I mean?
The conference has been locked.
Let's go. I got my guy from the 214. You're live.
Hey, Law Nation, man, this Willie D. Now, this is my new number now, so you can lock me in on this number.
All right, let me lock you in on this one, Willie D, man. I appreciate you for joining us on the Jane app, too, by the way. Now,
I want to talk about the Dallas fans. Hey, anybody listening right now that don't like Diggs, I'm going to make a comparison. First of all, when we had the quarterback that could not catch, y'all were complaining. Now y'all talking about his tackling. He can't do everything. First of all, he's a wide receiver in college. So get that straight. Another thing is this. Another thing about Dallas fans, I go back to the Mavericks. I love the Mavericks like I love the Cowboys, but I love the Cowboys more. But anyways, when Dirk was playing, I'm a Mavericks fan. First of all, I feel like most of them do kind of fake. I was a Mavericks fan back in the 90s when we sucked. I've been down for anything at Dallas. But what happened with Dirk and the Mavericks was, before you won that championship, everybody called him soft. He can't play no defense. I try to tell everybody, Dirk is a ball on offense. He give you 30 points in the blink of an eye. You know, so I kept on telling everybody, he needs help. He needs somebody to play defense for him. What happened? So what happened that season? One season, we got Tyson Taylor. We won the championship, and we had Barrera, and we had Tough Juice, and we had and basically another thing was what happened was the team, Mark Cuban, tripped out the next season and had a pipe dream of getting Dwight Howard and Darren Williams. And now one of them came here, and what happened was they didn't re-sign on Tyson Taylor. And so And so I feel like if if they could have brought the same team back.
Yeah, they blew it up, and egos got into the way. And then if you look at the Dallas Mavericks, they got the same issues that the Dallas Cowboys got. You can switch both of them, Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Mavericks, and we'll be the same as it relates to free agency. They don't tap dance around there. They don't bring in any superstars, and unfortunately, Luka is facing the same situation. Now, Spencer Dinwiddie, he's a guy that stepped in a lot these past seasons, but it still ain't enough, man. Mavericks gonna have to do something, man. They should go out and get James Harden. I'll play with you. I'm just playing with you. But talk to me, Willie D. Talk to me about Diggs, though, man. Talk to me about Diggs, man. What you about to say about him?
I feel like Diggs. Nothing. The Cowboy. Like I heard y'all on the last word the other day talking about how the team do, and I noticed it. They come out and try to down the player, and then try to get rid of him, or try to lowball him. I feel like if they're going to get rid of these, don't blast his ass, because we can get more. They did the same thing, Mark Cooper, and they let go Collins. Now I want Diggs back. Diggs to me, Diggs got to be like a top 5, top 4 cornerback. So. Okay, he can't tackle. Cool. I don't come on, man.
I feel you, man, Willie D. But I'm going to let some other callers in. I feel you. I'm going to expound on what you said. Let's go, Cowboys. Appreciate you, Willie D.
Sure.
That's Willie D, y'all. What he said is that don't trash the man. Let's see how he can add some pieces around him. Now, when you're entering into this season, they have every ability to extend him before, everything waits to the end of contract before that, because he got another year on his contract. So what the Cowboys can do is they can go ahead and give Diggs one of those extensions so that they wouldn't have to wait to the end of his contract. And it's easier to extend versus to let that player play on his last year, and then you try to work things out. It shows that the team is really liking you and backing you and these sorts of things. Now, I'm with the belief that also, if you don't want to extend him and you waiting for him to see what he can do in his final year, then there's always reasons that you can do these things, ladies and gentlemen. Trade. I would prefer you to hype a guy and trade the guy and get something back in return versus just cutting the guy and get nothing, right? But comp picks or what have you. And those are things that we don't work well on. But we do get these comp picks, and we even finessed some comp picks in the last few years here. I got my guy, MJ. I know he got something for me, man, from the 206. You're live.
What up, Law Nation, man? Love your show, love your content, love your fans. You let everybody talk. Hey, I was on the Steel show earlier this month.
What you say, man? What you say?
He hung up on me, Law.
What you say, man? What you say, man? Look, what you say over there?
Law,
to my compatriot.
Everybody over here. Now, y'all know how I am. I'm an OG.
You OG,
I just like
man.
to keep it real. He got mad. Now, every fan listen. Remember I said, Law, what? How many times we won the division in the last? We was 13-3 when we got beat by the Giants with Romo, or I think 12-4. 12-4. We was 13-3. We got beat by Green Bay. Hey, I know we could say we need Michael Jordan. We need
Scotty
Lou Walton. We need we need Mike Tyson. We need everybody. That's how the Cowboys say. But guys, we won the division, and this is how I think. When we win the division, I think we're supposed to win the Super Bowl. If I got home court, Law, I should now, Law. If I get home court, I should beat you, right, Law?
I mean, it's your home, but yeah, you should. That's the operative word, should. Yeah.
Thank you.
You should.
So, hey, the Giants upset us twice. So that's our fault. That ain't Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones' fault. Shit. We had home court. We thought I did, but I remember, dog, because me and you defensive player. Remember, I said, I could feel it in my stomach. I said, that year we was when we played the Giants, it was 9-7. I said, I got a funny feeling. And then we was up 14-3, and then they scored. They went 75 yards in 52 seconds.
You going all the way back to 07, man. All right, so what about I feel you on that. So what about now, man? What about the now?
Remember, Law, what I said there? Because now you got to give me credit. Everybody got to give me credit now. I want to win just like you guys want to win.
Mm-hmm.
Law, if we would won the Jacksonville game and the Green Bay game, we would have had home field advantage.
Okay.
But y'all said we could go on the road. I would have rather been at home. But I'm glad the one guy, the cancer, I'm going to tell y'all something. The cancer is out of the building, finally. We got rid of, they finna go to a West Coast. This is going to help Dak Prescott a lot. Now, if Dak Prescott can't run his West Coast, it's going to help all the receivers that everybody's talking bad about. Jalen Tolbert. I'll put some money on it. Now, if he can't run these routes, it's simple routes. Hey, look, tell everybody what kind of routes they're going to be running in the West Coast offense.
Man, of course they still got your sevens, but they're going to use drags, deep crossers, some smokes, screens and stuff like that, some concepts of misdirections, but it's not going to be pivot. You can still throw in some option routes, but I would leave that for my tight ends. Somebody that can physically box you out if the pass is late or if it's too high, and those what you really want from an option route. You want your bigger targets to do those things.
So all the Cowboys, I know we mad at our boy Dak. Come on, we got to give him his chance now. He ain't got no more excuses, like Law say. They finna run an offensive running game. We're going to have a cold-blooded running game. They're going to scheme, finally, like Law said. Look what I just said, y'all. We're going to finally do some
scheming. Yeah, we're going to be scheming, baby. So I appreciate you. So why you got kicked off the show earlier this morning then? Why you got kicked off?
Because he was mad because I just was saying about we had chances to make it to the Super Bowl. He said, oh, no, we ain't got no chance. Man, you tell me. And then he wanted to bring up Jerry Jones and Steven. I don't want to hear, excuse my French, I don't want to cuss. I don't want to hear nothing about them guys.
Okay.
You know they're going to be tight with their money. Now we got Dan Quinn, the man, who could get everything he wants. Everybody listen, he get everything he wants. And then, just like Law told y'all the other day, now Mike McCormick said, I'm going to get everything I want to go with Dan Quinn. Them the buddy crew.
No
now
doubt,
I think
man.
we finally could do it.
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, MJ. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, bro. Good call from him. All right, so hindsight, man, you can see good with hindsight is 2020. That Jacksonville game really hurt us, right? That Green Bay game really hurt us. That was the one game last season, and now that I can say it, that really got me, right? People were like, hey, Law, you all right, man? You all right? Law, dog, man, you all right, man? You was cussing. You was turning the table over. I still got a piece of the table broken over there, But that game, because I knew from a mental mindset that, hey, the frozen tundra is cold, the Packers, a team that been a thorn in our side. I think that would have been a confident boost. You take that and you ride with it, right? And we lost that game. I hate losing games that we supposed to win, right? And to a degree, it made me realize, okay, this is what this team is about. But then they did fix up some of the stopping of the run. But to me, that was a game we should have won. The Jacksonville Jaguars game, that team got a ton of resiliency, right? They fight and they play through the echoes of the whistle. But the nature of that game, I was kind of like numb at that point when we lost that one. But that's a game that Dak Prescott, for dog sure, shouldn't have thrown one of those interceptions, right? He threw two of them in that game, right? But I know for sure the pick six, when everything went to the way it was, come on, Noah Brown, you got to help your quarterback out. And that ball hit him right between the 8 and 5, and he wanted to play volleyball with it. But that's just how the season looked. And the things that I want to say that were an issue for us all through the season. Clock management, turnovers, right? Showed up in playoff. It just didn't show up week 1 of the playoff, thank God, right? But it showed up in the 49ers game, and I think my guy Vlad, if he's still there, he can let us know about that one, right? Because, Vlad, I was ready for us to beat those Niners, right? You're a 49er fan, right, Vlad? You let me know, and I see you present today. And I was going to load them up, man. I was going to go so hard on Vlad. I think the universe was saying, you know what? We're going to allow the 49ers to win because we don't want the Cowboys to win because they know Law was going to be petty Law. Law was going to have them people crying over there. But Lavelle, appreciate you. My guy, I don't get to get on the show all the time, but when I do, I gotta help support the nation. DC for life, baby. Appreciate you, my dog. Appreciate you so much for your super chat and your support for the nation. It helped me get to Oxnard and everything. I got Uncle Dave, man, from the 520. You live.
We'll see what we get. We'll see what we get out of this offense next year.
Oh, we'll see. So, it's all wait and see.
It's all wait and see. I mean, I never have any false hope about going to any Super Bowls. It's just you got to get your game together. And like I say, we need those. We need another receiver. That's for damn sure.
Yeah,
and you can use them option routes on those tight end.
Yeah.
Perfect for that. Say, Kansas City does it with Kelsey all day.
All day.
Yeah. So that's all I got to say about that. I'm out of here. We're always listening to nothing but the best, and I ain't gonna be too many more of them punk bees.
Breaking news from Uncle Dave. Appreciate you so much for tuning in for this show. There you go. Salute. He said, ain't gonna be no more punk B. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate him. I got 2 more callers. 202, you live like 95. Talk to me.
What's up, Lord? This is Chris from This is Chris.
Okay.
Number one I say about Dak, the whole thing with Dak is this. The whole inconsistency thing with him, he's very inconsistent. Mm-hmm. It's like, with me, I don't believe you can get nowhere being inconsistent.
Right.
And one game, he's on top. Next game, he's back down. Then when he gets down, he goes all the way down. Mm-hmm. Then the next game, he's back up. Then the next game, he's down. It's like, all right, so where's the consistency? And then it's like, you've seen 7 years of it. And it's like, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're 7 years of them being inconsistent, you ain't going to stay with that person. You're going to leave.
Right.
So it's like fans seen enough of the whole, like, me as a fan, I've seen enough of him being inconsistent to know that's what we got. We got inconsistent. We ain't going to get they can't change an inconsistent person to be consistent because it's already in there. And it's already seen the Tampa Bay game, he was on top. Go to the 49ers game, he got down. Before that, he played the Commanders, he was down. So it's like, all right, so where's the consistency at with him?
Right,
and then it's like, when people say give him another chance, it's like a relationship. We gave him 7 years of a chance, and what we got out of it.
Well, let's break it down because you got to break it down into pieces, right? Because his first time when he was introduced to the contract piece of it, when they was first started their initial negotiation, he was 30-11. Only reason why I know that stat line because I was listening to a podcast right before I went live, and they were saying, okay, should the Cowboys pay this man? He's 30-11. So you was talking about inconsistencies, right? It would have been hard pressed to leave and move on from a quarterback that was 30-11 at the time. But what they did was they waited, and then there was some breaking news that Goff got paid, and then there was some breaking news that Wentz got paid. So now they judge quarterbacks based off of stats, not by win losses, right? So his stat totals were right in the wheelhouses of those quarterbacks. So the market value was that was his market value, 40 mil, right? So the Cowboys, what they did was wrongfully, they said, you know what, we will put him on the franchise tag to see if he can do that like those boys, which he did it, you know, and that's the problem. So it went from $32 million at the time to 40, right? Because that was the market value. So he's getting paid market value for what his stats and his accolades were. So how do you not pay that man for what his market value is and were, right? Like what do you do for a living? What is your profession?
I work in I work in the dairy department.
Who?
The dairy department.
The third department. What's that?
Frozen dairy, like the frozen dairy.
Frozen dairy department. All right, so if everybody getting paid $20 an hour, right, or $25 an hour, and they say, well, hey, man, you know, we like what you do, but, you know, based upon this location, because you get a lot of customers, we're going to pay you $12. Would you accept that? No, you like, no, give me my 25, man. Give me my 20 to 25. So that's the same thing with Dak Prescott. And now when we talk about inconsistencies, in the last 3 years, his stats are still up top, you know, unfortunately for that case. And it's hard pressed because he just came off of back-to-back years of 12-5. So, and even though 4 of the games that, you know, you could look at and say, well, he wasn't a part of those, right? Because 4 of the games was Cooper Rush. But the collective sense of it is that he's the starting quarterback, and that's back-to-back playoff appearances. So it's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard to get rid of that, right?
Right.
And that's unfortunately, man. I don't know. The only way the Cowboys could have moved on from Dak Prescott if they never had that trade clause on his contract. Right now.
That's true. That's the only way we would have got rid of him. But it's like, since you got no trade clause,
you can't cut him. you can't cut him. And what's that song? What that song said? You said like a girlfriend. Sometimes it's cheaper to what? Cheaper to keep her, man. Sure.
And then it's like with him, it's more or less like, okay, so if you do it long term, you already know you got fans that's already discouraged by the outcome of this game, like the season after season of it. Oh, well, we high up. We got it this season. No, we don't. We got it this season. No, we don't. We got it this season, but we playing the Niners again, so we just had them figured out. No, we don't. So it's like, okay, so every season is oh yeah, we got it this season. We got to be adding weapons, we adding this, and it's like, and it's, no, we don't. So it seems like, where is it going to be a point where y'all know that we actually have it all together? But it seems like with certain teams, they have it all together. But then we get hyped up like, oh, yeah, we got it all together. We got this player, we got this player.
Let me ask you this. Did you foresee the 9-8 last season Eagles going to the Super Bowl this year after they lost their playoff game? Did you foresee that Jalen Hurts is elite? No, because see, I had a guy named Swayze. He was on my Instagram. He said, "Look, the Eagles with their elite quarterback is going to the Super Bowl now, and we have to sit back and watch, right?" And then a third of the people agreed with him and said, "Yeah, you know, Jalen Hurts is elite." But I would look at it like, shoot, I don't know if Jalen Hurts and the Eagles would be where they at with a Jalen Reagor, right, as their wide receiver, and without the moves that they made on the defensive side of adding more and more weapons to help solidify their defense. The number one game is defense win championships. The quarterback will forever be remembered, right? So if you can get your defense up to par and your quarterback just be who he is, he's going to get the accolades and the awards of being the MVP or being the quarterback that's in the conversations of, hey, that quarterback is elite or that quarterback is known. Because I think that there's a gold jacket waiting for Eli. You know what I'm saying? There's a gold jacket waiting for him. Believe it or not, he's going to eventually wear that gold jacket because he is a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
That's true. And when it's more or less like they said it for on, it seems more or less like even with the teams that have went to the Super Bowl, these ones go on the free agency and try to go get dogs and try to go get players to improve and be rubber draft. So it makes it seem more or less like, so y'all rubber draft and then free agency. More like the Amari Cooper thing. Like, you had Amari Cooper, you let him go to the Browns. You got 2 picks from it, and look at the 2 picks now. Look at Jalen Tolbert.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a game where they flagged him because he wasn't even lined up right. I know you remember that game.
Right. And that's why I go back to saying this before I let you go. You said that Dak Prescott was inconsistent. Well, inconsistency breeds inconsistency. We had an inconsistent wide receiver bunch out there, right? The only consistent wide receiver that we had this past season was CeeDee Lamb. And it took him a minute to get on the same page with Dak Prescott, too. It took him beyond the Green Bay game. Why? Because those boys didn't play a single thread of preseason together. And, he had a broken thumb, and he was entered in midway through the season. So all of these things, man, it breeds inconsistency. So hopefully, man, 2023, that's an excuse for right now, y'all. They erased that by adding consistent guys, right? A guy that can beat you on a route and a guy that can work out with Dak Prescott all through the season. They need to do it now. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for calling in.
No problems.
That's a good call for the 202, man. I got the last caller. The phone lines are off now, man. I know you're trying to call in harder way. Appreciate you. Malika, it's Malik Blackborn, I think that's how you say your name. Appreciate you. We need receivers and a QB coach, period. Yeah, because I'm going to say this too, and I know this sounds like bevies of excuses. Doug Nussmeier himself, everywhere he been within the confines of the Cowboys coaching staff, there's been levels of inconsistency, and we were expecting consistency, right? And the wide receivers, the expectations that a 4th and a 5th option from last season would be your solid number 2. There were going to be some inconsistencies. Michael Gallup coming back from an ACL tear, right? The expectations, even Jerry Jones admitted it, right? He just finally admitted and said, hey, they thought that they were going to get the levels of production from Amari Cooper, from Jalen Tolbert, and Michael Gallup, which he was pretty much off kilter with that, right? Those are not excuses. Those are facts. He was out of his mind. And if the person that was interviewing him, they should have pressed him a little bit further. But they wasn't knowledgeable of what I'm about to say.
Get your damn act together.
He would have said that when they said, hey, you thought you was going to get X, Y, Z. But nevertheless, the big elephant is not just Amari Cooper. It's also Cedric Wilson. Like I said, Cedric Wilson and Amari Cooper combined had 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. Somebody do this for me. What's 14 times 7? Or you might as well say 6, because it's not a guarantee that the kicker will make those. But just to be on the lofty side, can y'all give me 14 times 7? That's how many points that was missing from a production scale, because all Noah Brown gave you was 3, right? And I know James Washington and Jalen Tolbert gave you 0, right? So those are ways that you can look and contextualize the numbers. So we're missing those productions. On top of that, passer rating when targeted, 122. There's not a single wide receiver on this team passer rating when targeted is equate to 122 this season. That's crazy. 84. Appreciate you, Sean. Chanel. Appreciate you. 84. 108 is 108. It's 108 points. Could we use those 108 points? Come on, y'all. Last caller from the 904. My guy, Darrell. You're live.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Law?
Yes, indeed, man. I'm doing well. I'm doing great, man.
All right, man. And I tell you what, we need to do about Dak, man. Dak need to go on in that backyard. He got that little $10 million backfield back there where they say DAK on there. He need to get them receivers back there and start throwing that ball back there, man.
Throwing it, man.
It's real talk because, like, you need to get, if you want to get these guys to get in sync, get in rhythm, he needs to do that. They need to do some off-season work. I don't know how this is going to work because I know, NFL, they had their own rules and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, because, like, we really got to get this thing together because I really thought this was been the year for him. I really did. Because, man, when they had that first game and he got hurt with the broken thumb, like you said, it got down there to when he got back and he wasn't really in sync in the game against Detroit coming back, and then he had the nice game against Minnesota, and then the Green Bay game where he had the 2 picks or whatever it was, and then everything started falling apart after that. Also because the receivers was not running their routes perfectly. And Kurt Warner kind of broke that down a little bit because I was actually watching him and watching this thing, how it unfolded. I said, wait a minute, why is he running a post when he should have been running a dig? And that safety just come up there and just take the interception right underneath there. And then you got the tight end. He's running in the seam route, but he gets bumped off of there by a corner. So you like 6'5", 6'6", 260 pounds, and you let somebody like 5'11", 193 bump you off your route. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just kind of overwhelming. Like, they can play to certain teams at a level, but then when the teams that we were supposed to win, like that Jacksonville game, that really pissed me off because I was there.
Yeah, you was there. That cut even hard, man. What they were saying to you out there in the parking lot? What they said? Oh my gosh, man.
No, they did not even want to come over there to us. The only one came over there was Zeke. He threw his hands up. He went to see his family, and J.R. Curse came over there.
Mm-hmm.
But Dak looked at us. And some of the kids was like kind of upset. I said, Dad, you ain't got to be like that, man. We all hurt too. We fans.
Yeah.
And the kids was crying and stuff like that. But, that's another day and, another story on that one. But
man, you had some good seats, man. You had some good access, man, to be where the players walk in and out at, Daryl.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, you was on it.
It was totally closed, man. Like, they got, we actually see these guys down there, and man, I mean, like, Jacksonville, it was a good experience being there. And last time the Cowboys was there back in 2006, I believe.
All right.
And that's when T.O. was there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was his first game. Cause like, and I had pictures with his agent, Drew Rosenhaus. With him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took pictures with him, and then and that's when we lost that game. I ain't gonna never forget it. I was down there by right in the red zone. Byron Leftwich was the quarterback, and it was like 3rd down and goal. And I said, man, Byron's not passing that ball. I yelled out, watch the quarterback draw.
Yeah.
Why did the linebacker Brady James look dead at me when I said that? And the dude ran past him, and it was a touchdown. So Parcells looked away, was like, man, what happened? And he said he pointed at somebody in the stand. I said, yeah, I said, watch the quarterback draw. And then Parcells looked there and said, well, then why you didn't listen to me?
Parcells crazy, man.
Yeah, Parcells.
So what it was, 06 or 05? Which one?
That was in 2006. That was the first game of the season.
Oh, wow. We made it to the playoff that year, huh? Ain't that something?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that was Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback then.
Dang.
Bledsoe was the quarterback. And then, he got benched in that
Carolina game? Did he get benched in the Carolina game, did he?
In the New York Giant game, that Monday night game.
Oh, wow. And then Tony was,
and
the rest is his.
Romo came in.
Romo Mania.
He threw his first pass was a pick.
Yeah. But, it's a different story.
The rest of it was Romo history.
Romo history, man. I wonder how you think that the big tuna would have stayed if we never fumbled that ball for that slick ball. At least we would have won that game in 06.
I think it was more dealing with T.O. than it was with that fumble.
Yeah. No.
Because like, you know, Jerry wanted T.O. there, and Parcells said, no, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And then we keep T.O. for 2 more years.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, we get rid of him.
Yeah.
And then we end up getting Dez Bryant in 2010.
Yeah, we went a year without, you know, T.O. I always get that mixed up because his contract, we got rid of him a year too soon because the contract we still had to.
We did.
We got rid of him and we still paid him. That's the craziest thing. We still had to pay that money.
And he was still under contract.
Right,
and
right.
He went to Buffalo.
He went to Buffalo. Yeah.
Or was it Buffalo or Seattle? It was one of those teams. He went there and didn't do much there. Then he went to Cincinnati and then Buffalo. And then that's when he finished out his years. But man, it was just like, I really could think back with how far, and then, you know, and I think really, to be honest, I think Jimmy Johnson has a curse on us because of what Jerry promised him what was going to happen if he makes it to the Hall.
Yeah.
He needs to put Jimmy in the Hall. He deserves it.
And let me ask the people. Let me ask the people in the chat. Do y'all believe in like voodoo and curses and things? I mean, because there's something unique about curses, and you know, the Haitian Revolution was something that's real, right? You know, they banned witchcraft. It used to be stuff like that. It used to be a Madden curse. Yeah.
But every time somebody be on the Madden cover, it used to be where somebody is either getting injured or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Vic was on there one time.
Right.
He was on the cover, and he ended up breaking his leg. He was out for the year. The only one kind of really broke that curse was,
nobody really. Nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody. I think something real happened. You know. Look up this movie called Spell. You know, I think the dude that played Power, Jamie St. Patrick, he played in that movie. I don't know his real name, but this movie called Spell.
The name of the movie is Spell?
Spell. Look it up. It's on. I think it's on Amazon or something. Called Spell. That movie go hard, man. It based off these movies, man. Skeleton Key. Have you ever heard of the movie Skeleton Key?
Yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, man. I'm close to Louisiana, man.
I'm a scary cat, man. I can't watch that in the dog.
Yeah. I mean, you can't eat everybody's spaghetti, man. You go over a certain lady house and eat spaghetti. Hey, man, something real to that stuff, man. And look, people may think it's not, but man, there's some stuff, man, that will mess you up, man. That's why they say, don't, you know, even the good book don't, you know, it don't say it's not real. It said don't play around with it. Look up the Luigi board, man. The Ouija board, man. Shoot, whatever that board. They don't sell them at Walmart anymore, man. But you can go buy it off Amazon. Go play around with it, and all of a sudden, stuff move around in your house, man.
Absolutely.
I don't play around with it, man. Sure, I watched one scary movie, and I said, you know what? I think the movie called Alone. It was on Hulu. The movie called Alone. I said, these idiotic people gonna move way out in the woods, right? And they said that they gonna give them this house, Daryl, for like pretty much low key. The house is worth $1 million, but they said we give it to you for $250,000. And I said, hey, that's red flag there. I said, why would they give it for $250,000? Well, this house, we got to give you a disclosure. And what was the disclosure? Well, the husband and the wife found dead in the bathtub, and the kid was holding the shotgun, shot himself, and that's why we got. I said no, that house would just be that house could be that house. So the lady and the husband, they bought the house. I said, oh, this is nice. It's nice. Then all of a sudden, you know, you're in the house by yourself. They only got a little toddler, right? And then you hear footsteps above them. And sneaking and laughing. That would have been the day, dog. I would be like, you know what? I'm going to eat this $250,000, man. I'm getting up out of there, man. Curses are real, man. Ghosts and all that stuff. Goblins. You know, I'm getting up out. Hey, law scaredy cat. Well, you know, the coward.
Boy, yes, sir.
Hey, Darryl, have you ever heard this story?
I'm with you, Law, man. I'm gone, man.
Hey, have you ever heard this story? The coward tells the story how the brave man died. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, Law, what happened to the people in the house? Man, I don't know, man, but I fought them, and I managed to get out, man. I tried to drag them to the porch, man, but I'm here to tell y'all what happened, man. Go back to the house, man. It's dead in the woods.
I'll never go back there.
I'll never go back, man. One goes. He could.
You can't even take a knife to a gunfight.
No, ain't nobody hovering over me. This room is always cold, and it's in the middle of summer in Texas. No, it could be some faulty wire. I mean, man, law is up out of there. You know, speedy gun law.
Man, I'm leaving everything. Hey, baby, you come with me. You better come on.
Baby, I'm telling you one time, baby, you ready to go? I'm here snickering and laughing, you know what I mean, upstairs, and they all of us downstairs, right? You ain't hear that? You know, ain't no Amityville horror going on over here, you know. Law getting up out of it, law, scared the cat. Hey, well, shoot.
I'm running first and asking questions later.
Later, man. Hey, man, I'm calling to check in on the house, man. You know, y'all all right over there? I sent the electrician over there. I forwarded him the bill already. He paid in advance, man. I don't even want to know what happened. Jerry, man, put that dude in the ring, man. Just go ahead. Just do it for principles, man, at this point.
Yeah, I know.
Just principles.
For the whole thing, because, like, you know what? You say that's your best friend and all that. Y'all was on the team together, and
right.
You helped bring the Cowboys back out of that cellar.
Yeah.
Being 1-15, 3-13, and you know, he just don't want to give him that credit that he really deserved. And
Man.
He deserved that.
Man, look.
And I met Jimmy when he was down in Miami.
You met him, huh? Jimmy, It's got to be more to the story, man. It got to be something else. It had to be something real personal.
Really wanted to tell me, but I'm gonna tell you who I really met long before. After I met Jimmy, I met he was a defensive coordinator. He came to Cowboys coach in 2000 through 2003 before
Campo?
Parcells came.
Dave Campo.
Dave Campo.
He still had that raggedy voice.
You know, he is awesome. He is awesome. I mean, I picked his brain on how to run a defense, offense, and everything. I was still in the military at the time when I talked to him about it.
Right.
And then that's when so he was telling me about some things, and with the X's and O's and how the split these, and how he became a #1 unit 3 years in a row, because like I didn't understand that. And then Marcus Steele and all these cats were still out there, and I took pictures with these guys. And,
right.
Marcus Steele, Troy Hambrick, Anthony Wright. I love Anthony Wright.
Man, good guy,
down to earth guy.
Yep.
He was very, very down to earth guy.
Yep.
Gotta love him. I hated that they got rid of him, and we was like the only team that had 3 black quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah. Me and Big Game James, we talked to Anthony Wright. We talked to Anthony Wright. We had him on the Late Night Hype when we was doing that. You remember that show, the Late Night Hype? And we had Anthony Wright on, and what got Anthony, because he went off to Ravens, he did pretty good, but what got him was the political game. When they started, remember Ryan Leaf? They started Ryan Leaf over him, and it messed him up, man. It messed him up, because in his heart he knew that he was better than Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf had a lot of stuff going on, man, and I ain't finna say it over the airwaves. Yeah, man. The engine is running, but nobody's behind the wheel.
I didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, that's what happened, man. Yeah. It got to be something, though, back with this Jimmy Johnson, though. It got to be something. I don't know what it is, but it got to be something really beyond what they say. And those two boys swabbling with it, and he probably go to his grave, because Jerry sometimes, I look at him, man, he got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, man. I ain't trying to talk, but he might outlive us all, but man.
Because even when I was looking at the documentary, when it was when Jimmy Johnson had that documentary on the NFL Network,
right,
saying that they was out drinking one night, and I think one of the one of the coaches was saying like he could run this offense better than Jimmy.
Right. Wow.
So he didn't like it.
Right. Ooh wee.
So then that's what really started it all. So I can run this team and make this thing happen.
Man.
What?
Yeah, Darryl.
What blue ball?
Yes, indeed, man. Yeah. But, you know, it is what it is, man. One day, one of these days, man, I might start looking like Jerry by the time they get Jimmy in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I appreciate you, Daryl, man. I thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you for calling in, man.
Yeah, Lord, at any time at all, man. You know, we gotta get together. Like I said, when I'm gonna try to come out there real soon, and then we got the I know the draft is coming up pretty soon because I know me and my cousin were planning on coming out there. I think it's in Kansas City.
Right.
So yeah, we were gonna try to make plans to go out there to the NFL draft on, you know, live for that Kansas City.
No doubt, man. We would chop it up, man. I appreciate you, Daryl, man. Thank you, fam.
All right, man. You have a good night, man. God bless y'all. Go Cowboys.
DC for life, baby. That's my guy, man. Good talking to y'all, man. We're gonna go live again around 7:30ish. I got my guys from the north. They're gonna be on the show with me, and we're gonna talk some Cowboys stuff. But yeah, my heart is gone. They need to figure out who the kicker. But what I don't want to happen is we bring in Jonathan Garibay, and then we picking up the phone saying, you know what? Let's bring Maher back. You know, that was the situation. Tom Brady contract for Fox is $375 million, man. Man, my goodness, man. Whew. Man, the rich get richer, man, or the wealthy get wealthier, man. Can you imagine being in the top 1%, basically, while you playing a game? Think about it. Look, let me just talk about this one time, man, for the one time. This dude playing a game. No, you know, not dodging bullets, but playing a game. You know, in the contract, it's a game that he plays. Now, I know it's blood, sweat, and tears, and he deserves it. Got 7 Super Bowl rings and beyond. For over 20 years, he's playing a game, get good money. And then when he retired from that, he go and sit down and talk about the game that he played and get over $250 million, right? And $375 million, basically. That's life. That's the lottery of life, man. That's the lottery of my life, man. And I'm talking to y'all for right now for free. You know, this is I got somebody super chat that I missed out. Who I missed out on the super chat. I appreciate y'all. Matt, I'm a Cubs fan. Take 100 years to win a championship. Dracarys. Bless your heart, man. And you a diehard Cubs fan at that, you know. Shout out to the baseball lovers, man. The Bible says you reap what you sow. Yep. And did I leave out anyone else super chat? Let me go check it another way because I'm gonna read all y'all supers. But man, that's lovely living there, man. And that's just how it goes. Let me just go back to my drawing board here. Y'all bear with me. I want to make sure I read out all of the people that support the wonderful nation as we grow. And we trying to throw 100,000 party, man. So when we get to 100,000, man, we're going to throw the biggest party you can find. One-Handed Bandit says, hey, Law, Jerry said he likes Max Duggins. Ooh, that's TCU kid, right? Is that the TCU kid? We need a wide receiver coach, period. Yeah, Malik, appreciate you. And Matt Batten, who's pretty much been on fire today, says, right, Baker, what QB are you going to get? You know, I don't know. And I appreciate you, Matt Batten. Appreciate you. Yeah. So the TCU, I'm going to look at some of his tape. I'm not where I'm supposed to be with all of the people. I'm looking at variety of tapes, man. It goes just that way. What tape I saw? What's this kid name? And then it's going to start spitting out like this because all it takes, man, is let me see what evaluation that I got from a guy. I looked up Riley Moss tape. He was okay. I looked up Gibbs from Alabama. He's nice. Jordan Addison, woo, spectacular. Charlie Jones. You look up Charlie Jones, y'all, from Purdue. I'm like this right here. A lot of people look at the 5-star guy that's going to be top 5, top 10 drafted guy. But I like the Ron Blands of the draft, right? I'm like the guys that's down there in the low end, right? So look up Charlie Jones tonight, y'all, man. Let me know if y'all like that kid from Purdue. I'm talking about hands is like butter, baby. Not in the bad way, because he's going to make everything smooth when he catch it. So I shouldn't say butter because, that means you drop him. But his hands are nice, soft hands. That's what I like. He catches everything. He knows the ball, like he grips it, and then he give you a little yak stuff after it. So look up Charlie Jones, man. Maybe related to Jerry and them, So let me know if y'all like the same thing that I like. Like I want to look at a certain tape of a player that give you a little that, oh wow, where did he come from? I like that. Appreciate you, Dr. Jax. So appreciate you. A kid's game, Law. Yeah, White. It is what it is. A kid's game. So y'all hit me up. Continue to send me messages throughout the day on players. I may not get to you guys quickly, but trust and believe, I love to read, and I read upon a kid name that y'all say, and then I'll look him up and I'll read over, I'll watch his tape endlessly, and then all of a sudden, thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session. As we take a deeper look, I'll be going in on it, baby. I don't live in KC. It'll be cool to meet you, though. Matt Batten, appreciate you. I'm in Dallas, so if you're in Dallas area, Matt, come on out, man. Let's have a great time. But it's one of those things that I got to leave you guys. I gave you guys some time, some extra time tonight. Let's go. As they say, the path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish, right? And blessed is he that comes in the name of charity and goodwill, right? R.I.P. to Tyree, is it Ty Nichols? Prayer for the safe and swift journey. Yeah. And for his family, strength and healing. That's the kid that passed away, right? By the hands of the authorities. The awareness of all of that. Hopefully we can go back and look at things and re-justify how the law should be justified, right? Make the corrections, right? Our guys in the blue, it's a dangerous job that they do. But some of the things don't need to go the way they go. I think that police reform is the way that things need to be changed. A routine traffic stop need to be, hey, this is what you done wrong. This will be your time in court. But I'm not finna get into all of that, because those events against their will is of the same opinion still. Right? And the last words of any man shouldn't be crying out for his mom, right? But unfortunately, we seeing these things happen over and over again. R.I.P. to his people. Well, R.I.P. to him, and condolences out to his people. Tell me not and mourn for numbers. Life is but an empty dream, for a soul is dead. And things are not what they seem. Life is real and life is earnest, and the grave is not his goal. Dust thy art, to dust returneth. Was not even spoken of the soul. In his broad fields of battle and bivouacs of life, be not like a dumb-driven cattle, but be a hero in the strife. Lives of great men all remind us we can live our lives sublime and departing leave behind us footprints on the mighty sands of time. This too shall pass, y'all. Put your prayers together for all. Keep your head high. Focus in on your dream. No matter how rugged the road is, or how tall the valley, or deep the valley, or how tall the mountain, it is to climb. You know, some people say, hey, in order to get to the top, you got to start from the bottom. Those are true words. I didn't get to where I'm at this spot. I started from the bottom. So lift your head, keep everything focused in front of you, and let's continue to grind and shine. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And if I offended anyone today, charge it to my head, not my heart. That's been my time. DC for life. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Haters, lean forward. Get on up out of here. Let's go, baby. My credits are still shot, I believe. I think my roll credits ain't working anymore. But we gonna roll my imaginary credits. They rolling up right now, baby.
Nowadays,
come on.
Really
something wrong. Ever since we lost that last game, my credits have not been working. Boom.
Hit the door and the domain just whole team here might need some. Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If you're down in my management, I'm just warming up away till.
Shout out to you, Nick. Shout out to you, IB, KD, Sean. Appreciate you. So over it. Appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all. Period. Live. And just tight. Muse. Gina with the J. Let's go. Thank everybody. DC for life, not for short. Good night. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Let's go.
I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today. Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up. Ooh.